Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization. We're up in Jarbidge. We've been keeping an eye on this place for a while. It's named Cannibal Giants by the Shoshone Indians. They warned settlers to stay out of this area because of hairy giant that kidnaps and eats people. So they're the Cannibal Giants. Tusaha Bits used to be the name, got changed to Jarbidge some time ago. So we're up here investigating a Bigfoot sighting. Some guys claim that they got ran out of their camp the first night of deer hunting about 20 months ago by 3 Bigfoot. And they left their camp, went into town, and I'm going to show you the place. I'm going to show you what's going on. We want to do a walkthrough through our base camp. We always have a base camp set up. If we go backpacking, we have a base set up that we backpack from, all of our hikes and so forth. So I'll show you how we set it up. We'd like to keep an eye around the camp for a curious Bigfoot that comes in. This is where Derek set up a game camera. It's been behind me the whole time. I don't know if you've noticed. Probably noticed now. But there's one. And then there's Derek and Jenny. Let's walk this way towards camp.
Kind of ought to point out the snap-offs while we're here.
Derek's keeping the camera pointed kind of towards camp from a distance to where we won't set it off. He's got a screen of vegetation, but something tries to sneak up on us.
Just to point it out, it's pretty fresh. Snap, what's going to be snapping this off heading out into the water, actually, especially with this much runoff. As you can tell, it is still live and still growing. So, you know, what caused it? Brand new, or it hasn't been snapped enough to where it's actually killed the tree yet. But there's another one that's just a fresh snap off right here, heading back down into the same direction. It's not even snapped, but twisted. I mean, the whole thing is 360 and up. It's just the end of it, but, you know, it's what snapped it off. You know, something to look out while we're here. Another reason why to put a game cam in this direction is we might get something's curiosity while we're here. Get a little bit of video of the fancy rock stacks over there.
Yeah.
Probably the people that camped here before us, but
they're interesting.
There's some rock stacks.
That took a lot of time.
Yeah, even if a person happened to do that, there's a lot of balancing act going on there. That's cool. Okay, this is how we got here on the expedition. Squatch Mobile. Derek's Suburban. This is also Derek's tent for the night. But it got 4 of us a dog here in our entire compound. And this is kind of our tent compound. There's the kitchen. There's the shower, and then there's Caleb and his dogs, and that's where Jenny and I will be sleeping when we're at base camp.
Here's our show off our unofficial little mascot.
He rides on our dashboard.
It's the little things, man. Keep a smile on your face.
Gotta have a mascot. And it's so nice and relaxing here. Caleb's taking the opportunity to nap. We kept him up late last night, got him up early this morning, and we just got done setting up camp. Jenny's getting ready to throw on our hobo dinners.
So Kelly's passing me off on the camera because this is my area. This is our redneck cooler right here. And this is where I'm going to be cooking all of my Dutch oven meals right here. Hi, Caleb. And this is where I'm going to be cooking all of my hobo dinners, and this is where our fire pit is. This is our dining tent. And this over here is my kitchen. We got my prep table, my food bins. Here's my stove. And this is where I do all my washing and my little kitchen area. Oh, there's my refrigerator. Farther in, that is our shower tent and where we change our clothes. This is my bedroom. It's where me and Kelly sleep. Oh, there's my couch right there. This is where Caleb sleeps, and Derek's gonna sleep over there in our Splotchmobile. And then back behind our camp, Kelly has set up a couple more curious Squatcher game cams. See if there's a curious Squatch come in. See what we're cooking, what we're doing. And then back behind our tent, back here further in the forest, we have set up a game cam way back in there on that back tree. So yeah, that is our little tent encampment for the next 5 days. Hope we get something. Keep on squatching.
Derek, Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization. Going to give you a little rendition. We've been camping here now for a few nights, 2 nights. Been here for 3 days. A couple more to go. It's getting dusk. This is the riverbank. Just literally inside our camp here. Wanted to give you a little rendition of a couple things that have gone on over the last 48 hours or so. And for the most part, it's been just a pretty calm and collective camping trip. But first night we got here, all pretty beat from actually setting up camp, getting everything going, plus a long drive just to get back in here. And most of us actually crashed out pretty early. I know I, for one, was. But Jen had stayed up. And while she was sitting here, and here, I'll turn the camera around a little bit and let you guys just see little fire, you know, chimney, everything was here when we got here. This is our camp. A little fire going on, just a little bit of warmth. This is basically our camp. My bourbon. Couple tents, tent on the bar side, little shower tent, etc., kitchen area. So anyway, she's kicking right here, and something had thrown a big rock into the river. Now, mind you, it's in the middle of a pretty good runoff. So it's pretty regular, pretty common that you actually hear, you know, the knocking of boulders underneath the water from just the sheer force of the water pushing them down. But there's a distinct difference between hearing just the knocking of boulders underneath the river and something being thrown into the river. Which he distinctly said something threw a rock into the river. And it actually came from where you're looking at. Now we've gone up and down this place trying to find a way that we could cross this river to get over there. I mean, that was one of the first places I wanted to get a game cam or something, just to keep an eye on that area, but this river is high and it is fast, so just safety reasons, you just don't cross it. It's just no reason. Here, I'll even give you another reason. So, and I'll try, maybe I'll pan down and see if I can get you guys to be able to see it. Zoom in or something. But if you notice right there, there's a huge log that goes across the entire span of this river, and if by chance you got stuck or it got pulled down and you lost your footing and went, chances are you're getting jammed down underneath that log, and it would be a sad day for our MSO if we lost somebody. So it's best not to do that. So we decided we're going to leave it alone. So that was just the first night. Well, last night, all of us other than Caleb decided we were going to, we hung out, we stayed up. Well, you know, just about the time is quite a bit darker than this, but you start actually seeing bats swooping down, you know, picking out the bugs out of the sky. Basically dive bombing us. It was actually pretty cool. But about that time when it's just getting dark where you can't see what's going on, we started getting a pretty distinct whistle. And it wasn't just a whistle, you know, and you know, there's hummingbirds around here, which they're a pretty distinct sound. Heard them for the last couple days. It was obviously not some type of hummingbird. I don't know. It literally sounded like a human whistle to me. And it just kept going. I mean, we're panning around, we're looking, and I'm sure Kelly's got some footage that he's going to be throwing out there about the time of it all going on, and hopefully we caught some of that whistling. But it had gone on. I mean, pretty consistent every now and then for about an hour. Well, I decided, what the heck, and I'll spin us around here so I don't get you sick. But I just grabbed one of these bigger sticks that we got here that we've collected just to help start fires and keep them going, etc. So I grabbed one of the longer ones. Sorry if I got you sick there. But this tree sitting right here that you're looking at, I walked up and decided, yeah, I'm going to do a wood knock. You know, just one. You know, very rarely do we ever do anything like that, but I decided, what the hell, you know, why not? I get up there and I smack it, and it cracked the stick in half, and it threw the stick 3/4 of the way across this river and into the water. Well, within 5 seconds of that happening, 3 very loud whistles came from across there, just on the other side. Mind you, this is dark enough that you could barely even see across this in the first place. I mean, we got some night vision, but the night vision's not very good, so it was hard to see over there as well. But not only did we get those 3 distinct whistles that took place, but a large rock was actually chucked and thrown down into the water. So obviously we went on to point, and Kelly went and grabbed the night vision cameras anyway, and a couple spotlights. And I hope they picked it up, but basically got the camera going and whipped up the spotlight. I mean, straight in front of us here, you'll see a small pine tree on the right hand side, this little pine tree over here, and then you see this other tree right there, right about the dead center of that. As soon as he got that spotlight up, we had distinct eye shine staring at us from on the backside or within those bushes somewheres, and it was pretty quick. I mean, it was staring at us, pretty distinct height. So you got this tree here, right here, about here straight over, but right there, we picked up some eye shine, but it had blinked out relatively quick after we got it. We're hoping, well, in a sense, you're kind of hoping that it would have sat there and stared at you for a little while, but at the same time, if it was a deer, it probably would have sat there and stared at us. Or an elk, because there's elk, there's deer, moose, everything within this area, but it just kind of blinked out and was gone. Now, we actually heard some breaking through the trees, but we never could actually get visual on anything. But that being said, this over here is where we actually heard the cracking of the trees going on. Just over here to the right of where we actually saw the eye shine. About another 10 minutes had gone, and both Jenny and Caleb actually heard what appeared to be something had jumped off this edge, and there was a large thump, like something had jumped down into the water. And I'm sure you guys have all heard, people jumping into the water and what it sounds like. And they said that's what it actually sounded like. It's just something huge and big that just plunged right down into the water. So what it was, never laid eyes on it, but all circumstantial little evidence of at least something staying out of sight, keeping an eye on us, and a couple hunters got ran out of their campsite not too far up. This river follows up and it splits off. There's a Y that actually meet. The two rivers meet about 2 miles up this road, up this river. The road that takes you up there, and there's one more camping spot above us that's all flooded out, and then a road where you can't go anymore. You actually have to stop and hike back. We hiked back in there, and the runoff's so dang bad that the entire road, everything's flooded out. Even walking, it's pretty much pretty damn steep on both sides of it, and it's just solid water. We got back as far as we could go and basically turned around. Excuse me. But just up in this direction's where those two hunters got chased out. Had a flatbed trailer, had a tarp as a lean-to on the flatbed trailer, and that's where they were sleeping. And they got chased out of there and had been bothered for a few days. Bad enough by 3 different Bigfoot, according to the report. Even had walked up and urinated on the side of their lean-to. So that's not aggressive, and that's not something telling you need to get out of my area. I don't know what is. So just interesting that that this occurs. We got something that's not really trying to push us out, but let us know that it's there, and something that keeps ringing in my head of just so many reports, so many different people that have said there's no wildlife, there's no nothing. And outside of the hummingbirds and the bats that had come out at night, which I don't think either one of them are any type of food source for a squatch, so I don't think they would care either way. There's nothing. We saw some antelope coming in, saw some elk coming in, but you know, that was still back many, many miles before we even got to the small town of Jarbidge. So, you know, they say this is a pretty good hunting area, pretty good fishing, which I'll tell you right now, I have no doubt that there's a lot of fish. Some good fishing in here, but as for hunting, the terrain is absolutely perfect for it. There's some beautiful canyons. We tried getting up on top, but we ran into snow, so we couldn't get any further. I did actually get some aerial footage up there, and I also got some aerial footage back up in here that we'll share with you all. But yeah, interesting that there is zero wildlife anywhere around here that we've come across. We saw one rabbit that happened to be in town, and mind you, the town is it's a dirt road. You know, it's a quarter mile of log cabins, a little cafe. It's literally like an old western town, which is pretty cool if you ask me. It's been a unique experience. So anyway, that's my little 2 cents that I throw out there and share with you guys, at least through my perspective. Welcome to Jarbidge. Little rock stack that somebody had put together here. Not glued together, everything's just balanced, so you know. Alright people, we're going to throw down on some Dutch oven chicken. That is a beautiful little recipe that I got from my awesome little sister that we've had every summer or every Labor Day camping for a very, very long time. Something that she's always put together, so we decided to share it with you. First and foremost, you've been out camping all damn week, wash your damn hands. Start off with a good old wiping of the old paws. Because nobody appreciates you manhandling their food if you got some nappy ass on there. Right? So, what we're going to be doing here, now just for convenience, you don't need the tin in here, but just for cleanup convenience, works just like a champ. Just fine. So what you do is you line the entire base of your Dutch oven with bacon. We're using pre-cooked in this situation. If you prefer, you don't need to have pre-cooked. Honestly, in my opinion, I kind of like the non-pre-cooked because it actually wraps around and you can basically cover the base a little bit easier. Not going to be using all the bacon. We've got a couple packages here. We're going to save some about 4 or 5 pieces clear to the end. That's going to be one of the last things we put on top. So, we are literally just lining the entire bottom of this with bacon.
Would you like me to cut it back to potatoes? Or
As many as we're going to eat. So, a couple, you know, that's quite a few potatoes. I think that's going to be enough with the mixture of the chicken and everything.
Carrots.
Else. Yep.
And the biscuits. Okay. I think you're right.
We're going to take our chicken, now that we got the entire bottom lined with this, and we're just going to spread the chicken out. Now we got a mixture of thighs and breasts, and I personally prefer to split them up so you don't have all the thighs in one place, all the breasts in one, etc., etc. Now you're going to have to arrange this depending on how many people you're feeding, just to nice and fit everything within your pan. Prepare your chicken any way you prefer. What we're going to do here after we've added our breasts, we'll add a little bit of seasoning, salt, pepper, whatever we're actually looking for to do. Make sure after you deal with meat, always wipe your hands. Now, as per taste, just a little bit of seasonal, or some Lowry seasonal, whatever you want. Just a brief coating over everything. Gives it a nice, good flavor. Personally, I do a couple layers of not just this. This I just usually stick to just on the meat here. But I like to add a little bit of salt and pepper directly to the actual chicken as well. Brings out more of the flavors.
Looks delicious.
Now, salt is evil, but it makes things taste good. Once we got done with this, got that all said and done, we are going to cover that with some onions. And then we're going to take our baby carrots and we're going to cover the onions with the baby carrots. And I have a feeling this is going to feed a lot more than just 4 of us. But hey, you never have too much. If you have too much, you need to eat more. Be healthy. I'm just kidding. Yeah, they're going to look at me and say, yeah, you need to eat more. Right. Appreciate that. And in fact, might as well use all of them. Okay. Next, we're going to take some fresh baby carrots. Picked up at the store, make life easy. Now you can shred some. You can cut up some larger ones. But we like simplicity. You are out in the middle of nowhere. So the more you can prepare and the easier you can make this, the better off you are. And I am not kidding you when I tell you we are out in the middle of nowhere. We are currently up at Jobridge, and we are, good 70 miles from the nearest store. So make sure you bring everything you need if you're out here squatching like we are. Alright. We're going to cover the rest of this with our potatoes. We like the little baby yellow potatoes. I personally kind of like the little purple ones as well. They have a real good flavor to them. Can't go wrong either way. It's all to your liking, right? You're the ones eating it. Skins and all, because you want all the goodness. So now we're going to take, well, before we do that, we've got plenty of onion in there. we're gonna add a little bit of garlic because that's some good shit stuff. All right. A bit more pepper. How's it look, Jen?
Good. Do you put Laurie's on top of the potatoes too?
Would you like some?
Yes,
It
please.
is for your taste, so, and I don't think you can go wrong with it, so absolutely.
Thanks for showing me how to make this.
Of course. And again, this is something my sister makes all the time. Give you a little background on my sister. My sister's a historian buff, and for a long time was the event coordinator for a living museum. Which, if you don't know what a living museum is, it's basically what it was an old, kind of like Wild West 18th century or 19th century, you know, mid 1800s lifestyle. I mean, they dressed, everything was authentic. Everything they cooked, how they cooked it, their clothes, how they made their clothes, everything was 100% authentic. So she spent many years as the events coordinator for a place like that, and it's actually moved her into other things. She's been set designers and sets up authentic sets for Discovery Channel.
Nice.
So, you know, she's been in a stand-in in a couple little movies here and there, you know, just because she was on the set and put everything all together for them. But
I did not know that.
she gets contacted and does it, I don't know, in about 4 movies or so, I guess she's been a part of. A couple shows as well that she's done for Discovery. And all I'm doing is really just breaking this up and we're spreading it out. Can't go wrong with bacon, period. It don't matter what it is, put it in it. Can't say I put it in my cereal yet, but I don't eat cereal, but it goes good in oatmeal. But as you can tell, I mean, this is what, maybe how long we've been doing this? 10 minutes or so just to put this together.
Maybe.
And honestly, it, you know, it wouldn't take that much longer putting together a second one.
Yeah, if you were having a family party or something.
If you're having a family party, and I'll tell you right now, from my grandmother and grandpa down, there's about 150 of us.
Whoa.
So, and mind you, that's not our Labor Day. That's just my immediate family, but that immediate family is, between my mom on down, it's about 40 of us.
Whoa.
So, she usually puts together a few of these. So, at the end of the day, this looks amazing. It is amazing. Again, I've been eating it for years. So, we do have the charcoal already heating up over there. So we're gonna take this over and literally we're gonna set it down and kind of do a good mix between on top and on bottom. You want to do this for about, you know, obviously you're in the middle of nowhere if you don't have it. You're wanting to be right around 375, and it takes about an hour to cook. Again, you're cooking raw chicken in this, so you know, make sure you get it done. Excellent. You need your tongs as well, Jen?
I do.
probably mix these up a little bit better while we were doing this. Until we got our coals here ready, we're going to be setting this right up on top of the coals. Put this out to the outer edge so it's easier to get to. And then we're just going to cover the top now with some charcoal. Now again, now as for if you're going to monitor the temperature, which you really should, just kind of keep an eye on it, 375 for about an hour. To regulate the temperature to help, you can add or subtract coals from on the top of this. Coal a little more. You got a pretty good bed underneath these things because that's where the primary cooking is going to be. But you absolutely want to mix some on the top, some on the bottom, and it's happy days. It's time to throw some munch here. But we're going to give it about an hour. We'll throw up the time here real quick. 9:18, so we're eating in the dark. This is going to be about an hour, but you know what? What a beautiful jar bitch. What else you got to do, man? Enjoy it. Back in a bit. Plate that we can grab.
I think they're soft.
It's
They've
they've cooked it for an hour.
You got a plate?
Yeah.
Smells good, you guys.
They're good.
So is it ready?
We're gonna find out. Carrots take longer. Hold this. Carrots take longer than the potatoes. So we're gonna grab this breast out here and
Yeah, it's the chicken's what's got to be ready.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And that, my friends, is 1 hour. About 15 bricks, 12 to 15 bricks on top, about 20 to 25 bricks on bottom, and just let it cook. Don't open it, just let it go.
Thanks, Derek.
It looks
All right.
wonderful.
Well, let's dig in, guys.
Woo!
All right.